Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls.
boys and girls, kids of all ages, right? Is that how it goes? Welcome to Burnt Offerings. We are here to unpack the Bible verse of the day with Judge Petrocelli. So grab a stick and join us.
And crew.
Woo-hoo. 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 All right. You guys know that this is a video, and so like you can move and talk and.
So I have to start
No.
stable?
Well, it got really quiet after
Dancing
I
girls.
introduced it. And I'm like,
We
it
need,
got so silent.
I was just in awe of your introduction.
Yeah.
Oh, my introduction. Well,
He's the Barker.
You were a
so
little
screw.
hurried.
I was hurried. I'm
Now
working
you can
until
relax
right
for 30
now,
minutes.
and
Got
now
it
I
done,
can.
that's all that matters.
I'm very excited, and I definitely.
I almost bailed out on this because I've got so much to do, but here
It's
we
important.
are. I
Right.
decided to be a faithful friend.
There you go.
That's good.
We have a small
Look at my friend. I get my favorite color. It must be orange. I got this.
Yeah,
I'm smoking the.
I think you do like orange.
I do.
Lighter's orange.
Yeah.
It looks good on you.
There's a cigar called La Rancha that's got an orange label like that. La Rancha.
La Orange.
I think it's LARANJA. I like them a lot. They're great cigars, but it's got an orange label like that. But I've never seen you smoke one.
Ah, well, please do us a favor. Share this to your Facebook page.
All right.
Please.
Please.
And,
Yes, for
and
Facebook.
as Joe says, this is interactive, so we'll be posting some questions
yeah, right.
and
who's
looking
gonna
at
look?
comments.
Who's gonna look online?
We'll have to have one of us look it up. Judge has the verse, so we'll
I'll
have
do
to
that.
get you
I'll,
there.
I'll be happy
So we'll
to do
answer your
that.
questions, and then what happens is guys will be looking at this for a long time. I mean, I've seen some of them with hundreds and hundreds of views, and so we'll be checking back, commenting, and answering questions if they come on there. Otherwise, light up a stick, and we're gonna go ahead and let Judge read the verse and his comments, and we'll go from there.
And you're going to post them, Scott?
Yeah, we'll post it.
We'll post it.
We'll check what the verse is.
Okay, today,
So like Steve Lang is watching. Hey Steve.
all right, today is Isaiah 53, 6. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. I read that this morning. I go, wow, that was heavy.
Yeah.
That
Kind
was
of
real
wraps up
heavy.
the whole salvation message there.
Yeah. So, as I thought about it today, I said, as we wander from God's ways and teachings, we must be aware of the burden of everyone's sin that Jesus carried for us.
That's good.
All right. So
I think what this verse is saying is that, the Lord recognizes that we all wander. And that's why he sent his son down to carry that burden, the inequity of all sin.
okay.
Yeah.
And everyone's sin. So that's why I came to the conclusion that as we stray, we need to remember that he died for not just us, but for everyone's sins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say everyone's sin, does that mean everyone, or does that mean those who accept him? Do they accept the sacrifice in order to have their sins
See,
forgiven?
we've talked about that before. I believe that he died for everyone's sins, and I believe he makes that great gift available to all of us. Whether we accept it or not, that's
Well,
a whole
we're all
other story.
sinners.
Yeah. So acceptance is critical to the
individual
to be
Salvation.
find salvation.
Yeah.
But I think he came to die, and we can get really deep into that he did die for all who he elected. So, I mean, we get all caught up in that. I mean, I had the image in my mind, when you read it, and we said for all, of the weight of the world, of Atlas. That old image with the whole entire world on the shoulders,
Yeah,
on the
okay.
back. I think it's Atlas, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then, and I thought, okay, you know what? I've always taken the his death on the cross and dying for my sins, just like that, like he died for me.
Everyone means everyone. to
But,
me.
and yet,
You know,
and yet,
it's not like for those who
but my
accepted
mind
him.
doesn't go there. And maybe I was programmed as a child that this is an individual thing.
Let's look at it this way. He gave everybody a ticket, and whether or not the salvation clicker gets punched, you still have it. Your choice is to do something with it or not do something with it. But he died for everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what this says
Yeah.
clearly, that Lord has laid upon him, Jesus, the inequity of us all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whether you
Yeah.
accept or reject, it's still the price was paid.
It's on you. It's your decision to make. You either
Exactly.
get your ticket punched or you choose to.
And
hang
we
on
don't
to
know
the
who
ticket.
those people are.
That's
Like,
not
because
ours.
people say,
judge.
well, did he die for the person who died for everybody?
Yeah.
But then it's two different conversations of, did he die so that every single person goes to heaven? That for sure no.
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't know about
Not
that.
everyone's
Bible's-
getting to
the
heaven.
Bible's
See,
very
I-
clear on that.
Well, but I think that everybody has the ability.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you-
Everybody
yeah,
has
that's
the
different.
choice.
well,
Everybody has opportunity.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
opportunity.
Yes.
we want to believe that. We want to believe that. I mean, otherwise, none of this would matter. I mean, if he's going to allow everyone to go, he would not have had to
You're
sacrifice
absolutely
his son.
right. You're
And
absolutely
it
right.
would have been, it's all a complete
Yeah.
waste at that point.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I've talked with some people in my own family who believe that love wins. So because God
Yeah.
loves the world, everybody, regardless of what you do in this life
Yeah.
or whether you
Yes.
embrace Christ,
And that's the same.
everybody goes
And
to
that's
heaven.
the same conversation. Well, okay, you went all the way to everyone goes to heaven.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the Bible's pretty clear about that. It's the same conversation as. I lost it. I was thinking of the world is flat. My mind went to so many things. I literally had like 4 thoughts, and then you said everyone goes to heaven, and whoosh, it went out of my mind.
Right, sorry.
go back to what we studied last week. It was John 3:16, right?
For God so loved the world,
Yes.
and what's the world?
Everyone.
whole world.
Everybody, the whole
Not
world.
just some people.
But then
All
That he gave
humanity.
his one and only begotten Son,
That
who
whosoever.
shall believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So belief is the
So,
critical
It's
component.
that's the crux, the tipping point there.
So my mind went when you said everyone goes to heaven. What I was currently thinking about was how there's this belief that there's so many paths, and we all have our own path and our own journey to heaven. We're all going, and we.
That's a
Like the
world
hippie-
religion.
That's like the hippy-dippy
Exactly.
way
It
to
is.
get into heaven.
It feels like it. But you know, right now with everything with cancel culture, and everything is right and good, and we need to embrace every
Yeah.
single thing. They basically changed God's law and God's, the Bible,
Right.
and said, well, everyone deserves to go because he's
God
a
loves
loving
everyone.
God. He loves everyone.
Mhm.
We'll
Wouldn't
all
do that.
be there regardless of our path and our choices and whether or not we accept or not.
Don't confuse
It's
God's
really
perfect
different.
love, because God is
Yeah.
only love. There is absolutely no blemish, no shade or darkness within God's love. His perfection is love. But we can't take his salvation and love are two different things, I believe.
Well, God is loving and just.
That's
Yes.
the thing is it's just.
If he's not just, he's not loving.
Mhm.
You can't be loving and not be just. It doesn't work that way. That would be like if someone came here and just punched you in the face and was about to kill you, and I just said, well, I love you, so I'm not going to do anything about it. That wouldn't be right. That's not loving towards you. Loving towards you would be to try and stop the person from inflicting the violence towards you. So I think we want so much to camp on love, but I think in part because we misunderstand love.
Well, but that's
we do.
That's the tough question right there. How many times have you had people say, "How is this Lord good and just when He lets somebody be murdered and He lets children be killed?
Sure.
and
Bad things
He lets
happen to good
people
people."
die horrible
Yeah.
deaths.
Right.
That's the question that the non-believers throw at you all the time.
That's probably the number one thing that
Well-
either people struggle with, whether they want to believe,
God's a
or
loving
people who
God,
believed and have fallen
Yeah.
away, is what we just talked
Yeah,
about.
why
right
do
there.
bad things happen to good people and good
Well,
things happen to bad
but he's a loving God. He actually provided a way. I mean, we're
Yeah.
here in a fallen world. Sin
Running
is the
rampant.
problem.
Right.
Sin is what has separated us from a relationship with God, right?
Thank Adam for
Right.
that, and Eve.
So what does he do? I mean, they say, well, how would a loving God? He did. He provided a way. It's simple as, here is my son. I gave him to you while you are all sinning and while you're part of this broken, fallen, sinful world. I gave you my son. He's the bridge. What you do with him determines
Yeah.
eternity.
No, but I want
And-
more. They always want more.
But we
Yeah,
go
but-
to,
yeah,
God caused it. Well, God didn't even cause it. I mean, the sin is still here. We're living here.
Right.
Again, yeah, sin occurs. It's because it's our decision to choose creation over the Creator. We're choosing our own selfish desires and ambitions over following the desires and the ambitions of God. And so sin occurs because of that. And someone's sin may affect us when we had nothing to do with it. But again,
Yeah.
that's the brokenness of the world and the brokenness of the people within this world that cause, people to be starving to death. They
Well,
cause
and
just
the whole
these
free,
travesties.
the whole free will thing. I think about, well, it's Adam and Eve's fault. Well, it's really Eve's fault, right? I mean, if it comes down to it, it's their fault. And I think about, if I was there, I bet you there's about 15 other ways that if we could rewrite history and put us, if they put the five of us in the garden, we'd probably find about 10 ways to screw it up and do the same thing.
Right. If it
Yeah.
hadn't been that moment, maybe it would have been another.
No,
right?
Absolutely. I mean, we have free will because look, I love Jesus. I want to love you all. I mean, you guys are pretty easy to love, but everybody, and I'll tell you what, not a day goes by that I don't screw it up. I mean,
Yeah.
there is nothing in me, no matter how hard I try to, I guess
Worthy.
I'm saying be perfect, which is
Yeah.
obviously not a thing
only
I can
one
ever
perfect.
obtain. There's no way to do it. I mean, it's a losing cause. So even if I'm in the garden, I don't have to worry about food or anything. I can
Right.
still screw that up. I mean,
That just tells you that comfort does not equal.
it almost makes it
Faith.
harder
Right.
because you don't look
You're looking to God
to somebody
pride, yeah.
as a provider.
Right.
Exactly.
You've provided for.
Right. I think back to what you said. If God's loving, then why do people have bad things that happen? Why does injustice exist in the world? And I think it's our view of God as we think God's in control, that He's controlling everything. And yes, I think there are times you've heard people say, "Man, I was in this car accident, or this other person was in a car accident. I was thrown from the car, but it felt like an angel carried me to the ground." Right?
Yeah.
Why did God intervene there and not in another
There's
situation?
a big plan, though. There really is a big plan. I believe that.
Of course.
I believe that. My girlfriend Kat just got some news earlier this week that this poor young woman who has a young child, a friend of hers, had multiple kinds of cancer. They just found out multiple kinds of cancer. She was going to start treatment. And, not one kind of cancer, but it was all over her body. And she was going to suffer. And her family was going to suffer alongside her. And today we got word that she died in her sleep last
Yeah.
night. I mean, just
Just
like that.
quickly.
And you wonder, as I told her this morning, I said, my heart goes out for you and your friends. But think of the suffering that the Lord saved that family and that woman. These were painful cancers.
Right.
And her parents and her son were going to have to be a party to that.
Yeah.
She went very peacefully. She went very quickly. And as hard as it is, I think those people that have faith look at that and say, they really did save a lot of suffering. That's a just God.
Sure.
That really is.
We're all going to die from something. This life is not eternal. Now, if I get to choose,
Sure.
I
You're
would
gonna
like to
choose the garden.
choose to die when I'm no longer able to, enjoy life and get around, whatever
That's the
age
easy
that
way.
is, right? And I'd like to die in my sleep peacefully and painlessly. We all want that, right? But that's just not this life. That's not the broken world that we live in.
No, I mean, I'm still sort of, well, I guess I want to say devastated. I just can't figure out how to process. Our good friend Don passed away Sunday,
A little over 40 years old.
40
Yeah.
years old.
Too young.
Just suddenly.
You know, we're going to work on his heart a little something, and then, you know, oh, sorry,
He's gone.
he didn't make it. It's like, what do you mean?
Right.
Wow.
You know, I'm still, you know, and so, I mean, pray with us, Holy Smokers and Burnt Offering guys,
For the family.
for Tony and the family. Obviously, everyone's going to be grieving for a long time. I mean, we can't even fathom, you know, I don't ever remember him ever even being sick for anything. And now, here we're all over the weekend trying to figure out how he's just gone in an instant.
Right.
And so, you know,
But you
I'm-
wonder if, you know, I don't know, as a pastor, Scott, do you believe, I kind of have this feeling that it's all preordained. I really do, that God's got a plan for every one of us. Upon creation, this is known to God. I really
Right.
believe that.
I think he knew it. I kind of wish he would tell us more about it.
Yeah, that's
Right, give us a little
but
more
you know, that
information.
just goes to show that you really do have to have your faith and enjoy your brothers and sisters every day.
Right.
Every day. You know,
Exactly.
Amen.
you've seen the example of there's this line of people, and you're in line, all going up to God. You just don't know when your place in line is going to come up.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we appreciate every moment we have,
I agree.
and those
Yeah.
friendships and our faith. You know, just to be on the safe side.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could live a long life. We could live a short life. The people that we know and care about could live long or short, and we don't know. The important thing is to do everything we can with this moment we have today.
Yeah.
We have this moment, right? We're not promised tomorrow, so that's why I think, to your point, we need to take advantage of what we have in front of us today.
Yeah.
So don't withhold the encouragement. Don't withhold the kind comments. Don't withhold the love. Use this opportunity to do good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't worry about tomorrow.
And something about the word
Tomorrow
you
will
just
be
used,
gone.
don't withhold the love. I mean, I don't think of myself as purposely or intentionally not loving. But I also will tell you, I don't make a plan on how I can love. I mean, I want to love. I try when I think of it, but I don't plan each day knowing my calendar and how I can show love to you. I mean, but
Yeah.
I know everyone has needs and things that we could.
Not to get political, but one
But I'm
of my
going to.
one of my devotionals earlier this week, I think, talked about loving each other, and that's what God wants for us, to love each other. He sent us here to love, to be loved, and to enjoy this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I asked, how are we doing with that? You know, I think that's a big problem today. If we could love one another, if we could really truly love one another and try and understand one another, love is understanding. Love
Yes.
is accepting. Love is looking at somebody and saying, you know, I didn't walk in that person's shoes. I don't know how that feels. You know, I mean, again, I don't want to, you know, you all
Sure.
know my background. I was a cop for a long time. You think that young man wanted to kill that woman with a gun, with a knife that was stabbing another woman? That's not what he wanted to do, and that's on his soul now.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
got to reconcile that with God, that he was trying to save another life.
Right.
You know, and so we need to try and empathize and love one another more, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what provoked those two people to be fighting, but we need to try and understand all of it and love more. That's important.
1 Corinthians 13, love is patient. It's the very first thing.
Well, and I think part of, you know, we always talk about John 10:10 and the abundant life.
Right.
And it's part of our, you know, sort of at the core of our Holy Smoke group. In fact, when the cigar comes out, it's actually written in the band, John 10:10, in the cigar band on the Holy Smoke cigar. And I know all people are going to ask me from now that I mention that is, well, when's that
When's it
happening?
coming out,
I
right?
can't-
Yeah.
How come I haven't
We have no
smoked it
idea.
yet? Well, we're getting close. We're
Stay
getting
tuned.
very close. Very close.
We've been
But
close
you know,
for
we
a year.
talked about that in Holy Smoke many
But-
times, and all of you that go to Holy Smoke know that we have seen so much love in that group.
Right.
You know, and forgiveness and understanding of people that have addiction problems, that have marital problems, that have job
Or
problems.
just have life problems.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
But I was trying to tie what you said about love to John 10:10 and the abundant life. I mean, sort of the secret is in there. The secret sauce, I think, is the love. I mean, our lives are more enriched when we give ourselves, when we sacrifice for each other and in love. All of a sudden, I mean, I think actually we get most of the reward.
Right.
You get it back. I mean, definitely. Well, I like gifts. My birthday's May 12th, by the way. I'm registered at Lowe's and Home Depot. No, but I get more out of even secretly giving gifts or doing things for other people, and that's just in the giving side of things. When we sacrifice our time and
We've talked about
and
that. When you
become
do something,
uncomfortable
right.
for others.
Yeah, there's a great feeling that comes over you, you know, and it's hard for us. We've talked about how it's hard for us to understand God's love. No matter what we do, no matter how bad we screw up, God still loves us.
Right.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
really hard for us to understand as humans. But we need to try and dig deep and realize that's what He intended.
I keep going back to when Joe will talk about his favorite things. You know, he looks at the relationship of father to son, and as a father, we always want the absolute best for our son.
Sure.
And so I think about that when we're talking about how do we understand that love. Well, God's looking at me. He wants what's best for me,
Yeah.
not, oh, I need to correct this guy because
No.
he's not doing what I want him to do. He just simply wants me to have the abundant life. And sometimes I think that I'm the biggest stealer of that abundant life
Right.
for myself. I'm my own roadblock, if I will,
And God was willing to lay everyone's sins on His Son and have Him
Yeah.
die for us. That's love. Wow.
Yeah. And again, we get caught up in the abundant life thinking it's financial gain or it's materialistic, right? But again, when you identify that you achieve that by love and all the goodness from God,
Yeah.
you realize that you actually receive the abundant life outside of financial gain and
Absolutely,
materialistic
100%.
things.
The heart love.
Yeah, it's totally different. You're like, you could have nothing, but you're giving and giving and giving, and you actually are happier than someone that's always getting.
So
because
many
you're
of the
loving.
ones lately, to your point, is friendships, relationships, whether it be within family or those seem to be some of the greatest rewards. They have
Right.
nothing to do with money
Right.
Mhm.
or
Time is such a gift.
Yes.
When you give your time to someone, I see people that volunteer and give their energy, and wow, that's so wonderful,
True.
We're Jason and I are 3 months into a church start, and
that was smart. Starting a church
Yeah.
in COVID.
yeah, it
Great
was
idea.
awesome.
Nice. That's
Um,
good planning.
So we're 3 months into this, and it's been interesting that people that have come and participated. Some are coming because they're looking to receive something, but I would say the vast majority are coming because they want to support something.
Yeah.
Right? And even their presence, just being in the room, somehow inspires me and makes me feel valued and loved. Right? Now I know it's not about me, so it's not fully selfish like that, but there is that encouragement. And I think what we're talking about is that the time that you're saying, just giving your presence oftentimes is enough, right? Now sometimes you do want to give gifts or acts of service, or those things have great value too. On Friday, Eric and I went to try and improve our game, our putting stroke and chipping.
We did.
And I'll be honest
How'd
with
it
you,
work out?
I was just as bad after that hour than I was before. On the way out, Eric likes to look at stuff. He would say, "Let's stop at the pro shop and look." And I knew I wasn't going to buy anything because the prices are too high and my income's too low. Like I said, I just started a church, so anyhow. There was this one blue shirt that I just thought was attractive, and I just said it. I just said, "Oh, I like that shirt," and looked at a couple. I thought if they had a belt, I could probably afford that because I need a belt for my pants. And but I went outside and waited, and Eric comes out, hands me that blue shirt. And I said, "Yeah, what's this? You liked it too?" He said, "No, this is for you." That was his way of saying, "Yeah, I just wanted to bless you." It was a small way of saying, "Hey, Like you,
And you know who got more out of it?
Yeah.
Aaron got more out of
He
it.
got
Well,
it.
The
it
look
has-
on your face.
It has little tiny skulls on
Right.
it.
Satan.
Which,
It's got little Satans on it.
hey, the skulls are cool. All I'm saying is, now you're a little more cool, and
Yes.
I want to hang out with you.
Right now, you're willing to golf with me now.
It was
He wanted
selfish.
you to look
It
cool
was
when
selfish.
playing golf with Eric.
If you wear that other shirt again,
That
it's
white
not-
shirt, that white shirt with
With the
the
orange.
orange and gray.
No, but you know, you can't explain that feeling. You really can't.
No.
Right? Whether it's your time, whether it's a physical gift, when you give something to somebody and they give you that look like, wow,
Yeah.
wow,
Right.
you can't explain how that makes you feel.
And think about this. That's what I think makes for some people, the disconnect between the verse you mentioned, that Jesus took, that's the best gift ever.
Yeah.
We just can't wrap our brains
Yeah.
around it because I am, maybe not everybody is,
And,
but
and it's not even our birthday.
Right.
He gave us a gift for no reason on
Right.
a random Tuesday while we were doing bad stuff against him and his father.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
And
Sorry.
the thought of giving your son, sacrificing your son,
right.
for those
Well,
people,
and-
boy, that's
yes,
love.
that's huge.
On top of that, living as his own creation for 33 years.
Dude,
Like,
that's
mind-
just a mind twister.
He didn't just show up and then die. He lived as
Yeah.
we live, struggled as we struggled for
To serve.
33. Yeah, that's like creating a pencil and going, "I'm going to become a pencil." Like, you know what I mean? It's mind-boggling.
It's I mean, yeah, we don't know what he struggled with, but he probably struggled with hunger, with not getting what he wanted.
He probably got sick.
Probably, yeah. I mean, but he could have healed.
Frustration.
He could have healed himself.
And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why we broke our own rule, and this is actually the very first time. Sorry.
Would we go
Normally, we ask
Questions?
questions,
Yes.
and we actually look and greet people who are on. We
Oh,
didn't
I
do
greeted.
that.
I greeted
Well,
Steve
one
Lang at the
guy.
beginning.
Yeah, and
Way to go.
Timothy
then we
Herrera is
read-
on there
We
too.
read the questions.
There is no question.
Okay, we didn't even ask.
Yeah, we
any.
didn't ask any.
All right, well,
Did such a good job.
you guys can just make comments about how we didn't bother
Selfish
to
we were talking.
Yeah.
include you.
The questions were actually answered in our conversation.
There you go.
So
So the
Well-
shepherd is taking care of us, the sheep,
Yes.
and he laid down his life.
Well, I
His-
do appreciate this time.
Yes, absolutely.
I
That
do, and I-
example of what, like sheep, we wander from the flock. Every one of us
Mhm.
wanders from the
Yeah.
flock once in a while.
Yeah.
all we like sheep have gone astray.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
30
pretty much
minutes.
it.
30 minutes went like that.
That was fast.
And I look forward to next week. I wish we could do this all the time. And we'll, if you'd like to join us, reach out because Tuesdays, just reach out and we'll tell you where we're filming. And you can join us on a random Tuesday.
And share them on Facebook. and
Yeah,
Instagram.
remember, share this
We,
video.
Share it, share
we
it,
always
share it.
share it on our
Please,
personal
please.
pages and stuff too, so you can check it out there.
All right. Well, we definitely don't know all the answers, but we know the one who does have the answers, and so
Yes.
we will do our best to look into the Word and get those answers to you if you stump us. No one ever brings up dinosaurs, so I think we're pretty safe on being able to answer.
I got that one
questions.
figured out.
And,
Oh, you
Let's
got
do
it?
that next time.
Okay, so
Yeah, that would be a
next
good one.
Tuesday we're going to start with it.
Look out for my devotionals every morning.
That's
Yes.
right. Well, thanks, gang. Look forward to seeing you. And then I think tonight, actually, I see Terrence on there. It's Tuesday night, right?
Yes,
so,
Tuesday
yeah.
night.
Kingsburg, Holy Smoke,
Smoke.
tonight at Terrence's place.
Terrence is on?
Lance will be teaching.
that.
We'll see you guys. Thanks a lot.
Peace out.